Jake heard his daughter say right out loud, "You have your spur and I have my swing. Can you just see through the leaves and the clouds all the adventures today will bring?" Jake was an average farmer, but he put all of his effort into being a good one, except when he dreamed of being a cowboy and a bronco buster. Somehow he got hold of a single spur and sometimes wore it on one shoe or another. On one of those occasions it was in bad weather. The rain poured down so hard that there was a sudden wall of water raging down the hill above him. Trying not to get swept away into the many rocks below, he dug his spur into the earth and battled the deluge of water pushing him down the hill, keeping his spur deeply entrenched in the earth to avoid being swept away. The continuous deluge of water and his spur deep in the earth fought a battle that lasted hours and miles until the water could reach no further on its path. Jake considered the contest between himself and the water a draw. He had survived riding the toughest bronco he would ever face. When the flooding water receded into the earth, a creek was left, formed by the path of his spur in the earth. The creek was named Jake's Spur Creek. Who named it, nobody knows. It probably was not Jake himself. Jake heard his daughter say right out loud, "You have your spur and I have my swing. Can you just see through the leaves and the clouds all the adventures today will bring?" A town grew up near Jake Spur Creek that had the same name. It may have been the site of Jake's farmhouse. In the town hall there was a plaque commemorating Jake's battle with the deluge of water. An old spur was nailed above the plaque. The writing on the plaque was careful to say that the nailed spur may not be the exact spur that Jake used, but was a similar spur from the time Jake would have gotten his. The plaque, the spur, and the story was a unique attraction for the visitors that came into town. It also helped give the town a reputation for family dances, picnics, and church socials. Unlike other towns around, there were no gambling parlors or hard liquor saloons. Jake Spur helped the town retain its innocence. Jake heard his daughter say right out loud, "You have your spur and I have my swing. Can you just see through the leaves and the clouds all the adventures today will bring?" One day a young lady came into town eager to open a sewing shop. When she saw Jake's spur and the plaque in the town hall, and in front of several witnesses, she announced that she was Jake's only daughter. She didn't make a fuss over it, but just announced it and moved on. The witnesses were left totally surprised, most being incredulous that a young lady would be the daughter of an early settler. The young lady never mentioned it again in public. The townspeople dismissed it, but somehow visitors always found out and visited the young lady's sewing shop to see her. If they had the courage to ask her a question about her father, she would just reply that he was a great father, a brave man, and leave it at that. There were no further details. Even though the townspeople did not believe her, in time they accepted her the way they accepted the spur nailed in the town hall. She became a feature of the town. Her sewing shop had an average amount of business, just like her father had been an average kind of farmer. Jake heard his daughter say right out loud, "You have your spur and I have my swing. Can you just see through the leaves and the clouds all the adventures today will bring?" A newspaper man in town became interested in Jake and his daughter and decided to leave town to investigate the stories. He hoped to find the truth about both the legend and the hoax. The hoax perpetrated by the daughter should be the easier of the two to expose. After a lengthy and complicated journey away from town, he returned with a few truths. The young lady was an orphan from back east. When she was very young, she received a letter from a couple called the Andersons. They revealed that they saw a picture of the young child from a placement merchant, and though they were very old, they wanted to adopt the child and give her their love. They said that they were making arrangements to come to the orphanage to get her. In the letter, they gave the name of their home as Spur Creek. The child and the orphanage never heard from the couple again. The child's caretakers told her the couple must have met with some kind of tragedy. The child's heart was broken, not knowing what had happened. It was over 10 years later that another letter, dated shortly after the first, was delivered to the orphanage. In it, Mr. Anderson said his wife had died and he was doing poorly. He told the young child that she will always be his daughter, even though they may never meet. The young lady read the letter, wept, and promised herself that someday she would leave the orphanage and live in Spur Creek. When she arrived in the town of Jake's Spur Creek, she was elated that she now knew her father's first name. This town would be her new home. She looked in vain for markers where her mother and father were buried, but didn't give up hope she would find them one day. But every day she could visit the plaque and spur that honored her family. Jake heard his daughter say right out loud, "You have your spur and I have my swing. Can you just see through the leaves and the clouds all the adventures today will bring? Can you just see through the leaves and the clouds all the adventures today will bring?"